Hi guys, so as we all know, well, the Hyundai Sonata started off as a budget D segment car, if you like. It was the car at one point in time people bought because they couldn't afford a Camry or an Accord. But since then, Hyundai, they've gradually built up the stature of the Sonata name, and today we have a Sonata that costs 200,000 ringgit. Okay, so just recently, my retro review of the Sonata YF got very good response, and in that video I made a mention how the Sonata YF changed the way we perceived Hyundai. Hyundai suddenly no longer became a cheap brand. It was no longer a budget brand. It was stepping well into the turf of Honda and Toyota, and even though the Sonata at that time was still more competitively priced than an equivalent Camry and Accord with better specification, it was also legitimately competing against them in terms of design as well as quality. So this new Sonata, well, this is even more so than the YF before this, a totally polarizing design. This is one of those, you hate it or you like it kind of looks. And one thing for sure, okay, whether or not you hate it or you like it, you cannot argue against the fact that this car has presence. And one look at this, if you cover the badge, most people will indeed assume that you are driving a 200,000 ringgit car. Okay, so let's zoom in on the details. Start with the light cluster first. So this is all LED lighting. Okay, and the daytime running light signature. Okay, this is the daytime running light. It doesn't stop here. It goes here as well. This strip here is a lighting element. This is a lighting element, and it goes and of course, but this is just a regular chrome strip really lah. It goes all the way around. Okay, so this chrome strip here, it runs around the entire window frame and it comes back down. Okay, and coming back to the front apron, you see this is a very aggressive grille design. All right, very big aggressive grille design. The bonnet design is almost Aston Martin like in the way it runs, this way all the way down here to meet the grille. Okay, and that chrome strip down there is just put down there to frame the design. So in actual fact, there isn't a lot of design elements going on here, but it's arranged in such a way that it is provocative. You look at this car, it aspires to be something a lot greater than its predecessor. Now you come to the wheels. So check out this pattern here on the rims, on the wheel caps here, on the center caps here. Okay, so this really gives it the touch of quality and perceived value of the car. Here, this panel here, you don't have those typical air vents that are there in many cars these days, but they do. But at the side here, you see right, there are two major design lines, one running at the top. So you can see here the design lines. Okay, they don't just stop there. It usually runs, and intersect with other elements. So this line here as well, it goes there. It's a thick line, right? So it varies in width, and then it actually jumps over here and goes to the back. So as you would expect, this car has keyless entry, but what caught me by surprise really was that it has an old-fashioned button type keyless entry. It's not the touch type. So you see here I have the key fob. Oh wait, sorry. So I lock this. So it's the button type lock. Okay, it's not a touch type, so it's press to lock and unlock. So this is I think a bit of a missed opportunity from Hyundai, where they could have given the normal touch type keyless entry to further escalate the Sonata's perceived value. All right, so but yeah, we come to this part here. This, I must say, this angle, the tail lights look a bit like the Honda Civic FC. It looks like a grown-up Honda Civic from certain angles, and you can see this, it got fins here as well. Okay, and Hyundai also took the so they've put the tail light here, this C-shaped tail light, and then it connects here. Okay, so it's one illumination strip here, and you come to the back. This appearance there's a very American feel to this appearance somehow. Okay, so see that's the reverse lamp down there, and I think the other one is the fog lamp. Okay, so bumper mounted diffuser element, this is painted. So the rear design is a bit busier than the front, but still overall I would say that the interesting thing about this design is it doesn't have a lot of elements, but you know, they arrange it in such a way that it looks provocative. Okay, when you see it on the road, you may or may not like it, but you probably take 2 or 3 glances at it, you know, to see, hey, what's this about, you know? And you will be very surprised to see that it is a Hyundai. So this sticker is obviously meant to be peeled later, but you press this section here of the H to open the boot. This is a decently large boot, and so it took in these Thule bags, these bags from Thule, which we borrowed to use as props to illustrate boot size. So you pull this to release the split folding seats. All right, and inside here, no spare tire. They give you a tire repair kit, and so this bag here, this is the size of a check-in luggage. So put this in here, you can fit, I think, at least 2 of them side by side, another 2 on top. Okay, so there you go. Now look at the badge. This is the 2.5 Smart Stream. There's only one variant of the Sonata on sale. And what is Smart Stream technology? That refers to the new engine that they've introduced with this Sonata. So it no longer has a carryover engine from the predecessor, but it's a port injection engine. This is not a direct injection engine, so output figures of this engine are relatively conservative. So it's come to the back. Now you see here, I like the way the color scheme of this interior is very nice, two-tone. Okay, I like this light brown color. All right, so it gives contrast to the interior. It gives the design depth. It brings out the design lines, okay, nicely. All right, and you can see the materials here are very, very nice. Okay, soft touch. Okay, this is hard touch, and you may not notice it, but this is the door handle. So this is where you pull to close the door. This is the door opener. All right, nice design. So the rear seats here have this have these pores, isofix mounts. Oh, okay. So it's a spring-loaded cover which you push down, okay, to access the isofix anchor at the back there. Let me just sit in. All right, and you've got the cup holder here. This is another lid which you can. Is it a lid which you can open? No, it's not. All right. So bring the seat down, and so the 60/40 split folding seat, as you can see here, there is a step. All right, so it's not a perfectly flat floor, but I think they deliberately made that compromise because they wanted to prioritize the comfort of the seat. So as I am seated here at the back, I'm 170 centimeters tall, good headroom, about 3-4 fingers of headroom, decent. The driver's seat is adjusted to my seating position, and fantastic thigh support, decent leg room. Doesn't feel class leading, but decent. All right, you get a USB port here and rear air con vents. You get a panoramic sunroof, but more than that, look at the material here. It looks a bit like a denim material, but I have never seen this kind of material used on a roof lining before, and it looks gorgeous. All right. Okay, so we go inside. All right, now look at this. I have to say, this really looks like a 200,000 ringgit car. And look at the door card. If you're accustomed to premium car door cards, you may be wondering, hey, where's the grab hold? This, just put your hand here, pull this. All right, and yeah, so here you are, and I shall start the engine. All right, they have put in the effort to give you a show, and so here's the drive mode switch. Let me just show you some more. Oh, see that they have well, the effort in presentation is definitely there, and here you have, this is a factory fitted screen. Okay, and you can see here, this is thin. Okay, this is a thin piece, and they actually took the effort. Well, this is curved, so this assembly here is curved, but the screen just occupies this section, which is fine. Down here, this is the climate control. Switches are a bit small, all right, but the quality is good. And even lower down here, you can see one USB port just for charging, USB to connect to the infotainment system, 12-volt socket next there, and a wireless Qi charger that that's the ability to cool. So if this wireless Qi charger detects that your phone is heating up, it will route cool air under the phone to cool it for you. So over here, and you can see here, this is rubberized. Okay, and this is a nice, like, cross pattern trim here. Okay, so here, button type selector looks very premium. Okay, this whole, and you can see here this little touch of flair here. So this is sort of like a reverse of the Mercedes command pad, if you remember. So it's a molded cup holder here, and they have this slot here for you to park your phone down here. Brilliant. Okay, open here. Well, this is relatively simple. Okay, and yep, just a nicely sized box. That's it. Okay, overall, I like the effort that they put into this cabin design. It really shows that they have invested a lot. See the material, the overall material usage, fit and finish, design, color scheme feels properly premium. And I have to show you this one. So I'm going to go to drive. All right, and a couple of thoughtful things there. So now I move forward, right? Okay, flick my my signal, and you can see they give you a camera view of what's the other side, of what's behind you in your blind spots. Similarly, I flick the left camera, and it shows what's on the left side. Very thoughtful. Okay, and on and also they will show you the speed readout in digital. So over here, it's the RPM counter in digital as well. Very nice. And another nice touch, so you see the wipers, and activate the wipers, it shows you the position of the wipers. Because often, right, sometimes because you don't use your wipers as frequently as your, say, your signal stocks, right, you sometimes may not know what position your wiper currently is in. Okay, and the stalks themselves, so yes, the lights are switched on from the stock, but look at the pattern that they put here. All right, very, very nice. The details are fantastic. Coming back here to this, you see this pattern, the node pattern here and here as well. Very, very nice, all nicely finished. I think this cabin scores very highly in terms of first impression. Really, really looks the works. So more things to show you. You can see this is the camera, reverse camera. Clarity is average, and the stitching is okay, but not perfect. So but relatively easy enough to understand, to grasp the image. Okay, so as I always say, with 360-degree cameras, I don't understand why with 360-degree cameras, the clarity, it's important to have average clarity, but good stitching. And this one, I have to say, the stitching is pretty alright. And lastly, before before I proceed to the next part of the video, let me just come down again and show you the lighting signature. So you can see here, these are the lights switched on, and you see how there's a gradient effect in the illumination as you proceed up this pathway. Very, very nice. Okay, effort, that's effort, but it would be even nicer if this was unbroken. Okay, that would be, but I think that is rather difficult to achieve. So we come to the back here, you can see the illumination of the tail light as well. Pretty distinctive. Wouldn't mistake it for anything else.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though.
Okay, so we have looked inside and outside the car, and no doubts this car really looks the business. It looks like it is worth 200k, maybe even more. But how does it drive? Well, distinctly average. Yeah, so it's not bad, but the driving experience, in all honesty, does not match up to the looks. See, when you set your eyes on this car, when you first set eyes on this car, you would imagine that this car has the looks that befit a 250-300 horsepower car, which, well, of course, performance terms, it makes nowhere near those kind of outputs. So the engine, the 2.5 liter smart stream engine, it feels like a run-of-the-mill, D segment powertrain, and this D segment nowadays is already moving towards turbocharging. So in a way, this one is alone against the Toyota Camry in providing a 2.5 liter port injection engine. The Mazda 6 Skyactiv, let's not forget, 2.5 is direct injection. So in terms of powertrain refinement, certainly nowhere near the Mazda, and I would say it's perhaps comparable to the Camry. But then again, the Camry is also using an aged powertrain. Let's forget about comparing this against the Passat. The Passat's 2-liter turbo engine will blow this out of the water with its superior torque. Then what about the dynamics? To be frank, the ride it's firm, although not unbearable, but at the same time it doesn't give you the kind of sporty driving sensations that you expect out of that firmness. So in terms of handling, it still does not have the measure of the Camry or the Passat or the Mazda 6, to quote some examples in this price segment. I have not driven the new Accord extensively enough to deliver a conclusive verdict to compare this against that, but against what the cars that I have experienced, the driving experience, both in terms of straight line performance, in terms of handling, in terms of comfort, it's definitely not segment leading. But the thing is, I don't think that is a critical aspect of its case, because it drives okay. It's not an offensive car to drive. It's just not sparkling. And you know, when you look at the entirety of its package, the design, which, yes, it's a love it or hate it kind of design, right? But when you sit on the inside, you look at the effort that they lavished in finishing this cabin, you have to stand up and applaud Hyundai for overall a job well done. Because what this car really does, in respect to its competitor, is that it definitely feels the most expensive car in this segment. So if I had no idea how much the D segment cars cost in Malaysia, I would assume that this car is the most expensive next to the Camry, the Accord, the Passat, and the Mazda 6. Okay, so this is a car that, if let's say, like if you were to pick up your friends in this car, they will look at you and say, "Wow, brother, doing well these days already, huh?" You know, it has that upmarketness to it, and I think this is something that that brings us back to the success of the Sonata YF, is that you can see the quantum leap step up of this car from the predecessor. Even though there's a part of me feel that the Sonata LF, the previous Sonata LF, has slightly better resolved dynamics, but overall it's hard to argue that this does not feel like a superior car. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. That's my simple thoughts on the new Sonata. Looks great, built superbly, definitely looks the part of a 200k car. It doesn't drive as well as you'd expect from its appearance, but overall, tribute to Hyundai for lavishing the kind of effort that they did with that they put here, because this, in my opinion, is definitely the most expensive feeling car in the segment.